There are a lot of things I learned when I moved to Saudi Arabia. One of them being how to wash my own underwear and how to turn on a stove without adult supervision. All right, so Angela stopped being a baby, kind of. I'm going to be moving to my own place this November. And here are a couple of things that I learned while I'm living abroad. I would say while I lived abroad, but I'm still living abroad. The first thing is you've got to get out of your small town mindset. And I say this because really when I was back in Davao, I felt like I really was more conscious of what people thought about me and how certain things made me look. And now in Saudi Arabia, I didn't know anybody. Nobody cared if I wore makeup or not. Nobody cared. It's like everyone's in black 99% of the time. Nobody cared what I wore. Nobody cared if I brushed my teeth or not. And nobody really cared. It just made me realize that, wow, I'm really not that relevant in the world. But it also gave me that sense of like, oh my gosh, yes, nobody cares. And it's very liberating in its own way where you don't need to care about what people think. It's very freeing. It's really, really, really liberating. I recommend doing it at least once. Um, I did a makeup. I did a beauty queen's makeup back when I was doing makeup, and um, her name was Katarina Rodriguez. She's been on Asia's Next Top Model as a finalist. If her name rings familiar to you, so Katya told me that I needed to like live in New York, or did she tell me live in Manila? But like out of Davao at least once in my life. And now obviously I see why. When you're not in your small town, it's like your mind expands, who you are expands. You're getting to experience and view the world in a different way than if you just stayed in your small town. And being out of Davao just took everything that was unnecessary out of my head. So the things that were consuming space, like, oh, what's so and so gonna think of me? Oh, will I see my ex at the mall today? It's just all these things out of my head. And now I finally I got to focus on the things that really mattered, like how I felt or what I thought about something. And I stopped feeling the pressure of needing to be a certain way, needing to live up to a certain standard or a certain reputation or a certain thing that I'm known for or whatever. Because here, obviously, nobody really cared who I was. Nobody cared about me. Nobody even knew who I was. It's just people saw me as my mama's daughter or something. So that was really something that I loved. And when you're not in your small town, it's just you're not thinking about the same people you're thinking about or you're talking about. You don't give a shit who liked your photo on Instagram or who saw you somewhere, wherever, who saw you at the bar, who saw you at the mall. You just don't give a shit about all these trivial things that you inevitably, unfortunately, care about when you're in your small town. And I'd say for me, the feeling was I just got to like focus on the things that really mattered. And I got to be even more authentic because I didn't have to be any way other than myself. And what what this does is, aside from it allows you to be authentic, it's also something that made me realize that, whoa, it's like, look at how little I actually need to live. I don't need like anything that's fancy. I don't need anything that makes me look good or whatever. It's like it it boiled down the things that I needed to live a content life. And it made things simpler. And there's just really something when you get out of the same town you've been in, the same town you've grown up in for years and years. It gives you like a fresh perspective on life, a fresh perspective on yourself, and it allows you to experiment and try new things and not be afraid of what so and so gets to think about you. So I love that part. And another thing I really loved about and I got to experience while living abroad was, let me take a look at my copy. It says here, that you need to sacrifice who you are for who you can be. And the reason why is because obviously growth. You need to grow as a human being if you want to be fulfilled. You need to grow if you want to see who you're capable of being. And most people get stuck in like, oh, I don't want to let go of this thing because this thing is like, it's not the best, but it's what I have right now. What I realized is I needed to let go of my previous identity. I needed to just stop being the munchkin girl or the makeup artist. I needed to get out of the identity traps that I put myself in. I needed to stop being the girl who didn't know how to cook, who didn't know how to do laundry, who didn't know how to do chores. And I needed to grow the fuck up and stop being a baby. So, of course, at the moment when I did those things, it felt scary because my munchkins, the businesses that I had, they were all I had and they were all I've known. But what I found was when I let them go, I got to experience new things. I got to a place that was an upgrade in a lot of ways, and places that are even better than the places that I've been to before or the place that I've been before. And it requires a lot of faith. It requires a lot of trust to believe that you're going to get to a better place, that you're not going to be losing, you're going to be gaining, that what you're giving up all these things, all these befores, so that you could have and you could be the person that you know you could be, to have the more, to hold space for the new in your life. It's like life is just this like closet full of old clothes, and then you don't want to donate all these clothes because these are all you've had all your life. Now, it's fine and dandy to keep wearing these clothes, but as you grow, some of these clothes don't fit you anymore. Your style has changed, or maybe you've grown physically, you can't literally fit into these clothes anymore, and you need new clothes. So what do you do? A lot of people have that like fear of losing what they already have, that most people can't let go of the past or can't let go of what they have so they could leap to new heights and see better places, see better things, be open to new opportunities, meet better people. And like this closet, you need to be able to declutter and let go of cute clothes or clothes that have sentimental value for you to be able to hold space for the new in your life. And I had no idea that at the time of letting go of the things that the things that I was used to, I didn't know that I'd end up here. I had no idea. But that's where faith comes in. That's where holding the belief that you got this, that the human spirit is meant to evolve and meant to grow. And yes, you have it in you to reach new heights, to see new mountaintops, to experience things that are better than you would have ever imagined. So there's also that excitement in the letting go. And this is how I haven't really failed yet. This is how I'm like bracing myself for when I experience failure. It's like, look, yeah, you may lose good things, but on the other side, you're going to have things that are even better. And what you need to do is just go through this failure, go through this loss, go through the act of letting go for you to be able to get to the other side. It's like you need to let go of your first love, even though it was like the greatest you've ever had in your very limited experience, so that you can experience new people, so that you could learn more from what you like and what you don't like, and what you deserve and what you don't deserve. It actually like took me 2 years, 2.5, yeah, to get over my first love. So I know letting go is hard. It's definitely not easy, but it's a prerequisite to growth. Next thing on our list is, yes, we do have Angela's copyright here. The next thing on our list is the world is so big. It's like, even if you do let go of what you've had in the past, the world is so big and so abundant and so full of new opportunities that you're never going to run out. You're just never going to run out. And this, your mindset has a role to play here too, right? Because you ultimately attract what you believe. And I'm not going to go woo-woo on you. This is actually scientifically proven. To go research for yourself if that's something you're curious about. But when I got out of the Philippines, I just saw the world through a different lens. And I realized it's like so freaking big that, yeah, maybe in Davao people knew me, but I could always go somewhere else where people didn't know who the fuck I was, and I could always start over. And there were more adventures for me to go on, more people for me to meet, and just bigger things out there. It's like it confirms my belief, my suspicion that yes, there are bigger things waiting for me in the world. I just was yet to experience those things. But living abroad gave me a taste of what it's like to see what the world has to offer me. And back when I was super duper in love and I just wanted to marry the guy, he was like, my first love was like, dude, the world is your oyster. And at the time I was like, you're just saying that because you don't love me and you want to let me go, but I don't want to let you go. But now that I've tasted it, I know it's freaking true. And now I have bigger plans that are more grandiose than 17-year-old Angela's plans, who didn't know how big the world was and who had a lens that was so myopic she couldn't see the things outside the lens that she was viewing the world from. It just expands her mind. You know, the world is so big and it's so small at the same time, but it is also big. It's big enough where you get to expand yourself and you get to expand your experiences and you get to actually grow and be an upgraded version of yourself. Lastly, I learned that there are always going to be different lenses from which to view the world from. And this ties into how important the role of cultural sensitivity is, because what's right for you might not be right for another culture. And just because you've always known the world to be a certain way doesn't mean that that is the only way to live life. And it just shows me how, even though we do have a lot of differences culturally, racially, sexually, religiously, we have more things in common than we have differences. And it sounds like so cliche. And it sounds like such a Miss Universe answer, like, oh, the world is one, we're all connected. But it's like true. Yeah, it's like we're all human beings. We need to shit, we need to sleep, we need to eat, we need to breathe, we need love. We care for our family, we have dreams, we have ambitions, we get hurt, we lose our loved ones. It's like it's the same human journey. We just have these like costumes that we put on, labels that we put on ourselves. And it's just really fascinating to put down your lenses that you're viewing the world from and try seeing the world from another point of view, from another pair of lenses. It's a great opportunity to expand, and I think I've said that so many times, to grow and to just not be trapped in an identity that you have for yourself. It's like an opportunity to break out of the box. And that's my alarm that's ringing. So I guess these are the things that I learned living abroad. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment down below. And I'm actually writing a book right now. I don't know how much of those will be about my journey living abroad, but that's in the works. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, mofo, because I'm going to be just documenting this whole thing. All right? I'll see you guys on my next video.